7 months and 21 days. That's where I've been since we met first. My rush of blood, the marathon of my desperation. Well, I wasn't flirting, I wasn't stalking, I wasn't knowing. Just happened unknowingly. Good morning, folks. Arjun here. I always had a surreal boat that hung by my neck, which read fit for nothing. Born into a good family and being the second one of two, I woke up every day just to be myself, my lazy self. I didn't live to impress anyone. I didn't want to make softwares or hardwares. I just wanted to make films, which my family saw as a tsunami alert. The daily situation at home was that of a military camp, guns and bombs all the way. Another routine at home was sibling rivalry. I forgot to mention my one and only sister, Gato. That's how I call her. Everyday fights made it tiresome, and one fine day, she left home. Well, don't get into any sort of assumptions. She just got married, and I got married to boldness. A few months and a year later, there came a baby in the cradle at home. That's when I got my first proper name, Mama. I gradually turned towards work. My middle finger worked day and night for those who said I can do shit. That's when I left home for a work of mine. I stayed along with my two good friends who were aspiring musicians. We spent our days smoking hopes. It was a time where our topics ranged from movies to songs, and songs to chicks, and chicks to pricks, and whatnot.
ഈ സംഗതി കൊള്ളാം. എന്ന് ഓരോന്ന് അടിക്കാൻ കർത്താവായിട്ട് ഓരോ കാരണം കണ്ടെത്തി തരും. ഈ കർത്താവുള്ളൊരു സംഭവം കേട്ടാ.
ഓ, ഇങ്ങനെ അടിക്കലടാ, നിൻ സ്റ്റെബിലൈസർ വരെ അടിച്ചു.
Talk in English, bitches. Every time, inga ponga. All you Malus are fucking typical.
മിണ്ടാതിരിക്കടാ മൈദേ. നിന്റെ ഓളോട് പോയി പറയടാ പൂറി മോനെ. You wanna see the typical Malu thing? Bencho. കുറേ കാലം എൻ്റെ കൂടെ നടന്നു. പിന്നെ വേറൊരുത്തൻ്റെ കൂടെ. അതും കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ ഏതോ ഒരുത്തൻ്റെ കൂടെ. ഇപ്പതേ അവളുടെ കല്യാണം. അതും വേറെ ഏതോ ഒരുത്തൻ. പിന്നെ കല്യാണത്തിന് പോകുന്നു, അവളുടെ കെട്ടിയവനെ പരിചയപ്പെടുന്നു, സദ്യ ഉണ്ണുന്നു, അവിടെ നിന്ന് പോരുന്നു. ദേ ഇപ്പം ഇവിടെ വന്നിരുന്ന് വെള്ളം അടിക്കുന്നു. എത്ര മനോഹരമായ രാത്രി അല്ലേ. എന്നിട്ട് ആൾക്കൊരു എളുപ്പില്ല ഇഷ്ടാ. എന്തൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞാലേ ഞാൻ ആ ചുള്ളന് നല്ലൊരു ഷേക്കാൻ്റെ കൊടുത്തിട്ടായിരുന്നു. അതും ഒരു കാലത്ത് പിടിയും കളിയുമായി നടന്ന എൻ്റെ അതേ കൈകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ. അതോർത്ത് എനിക്ക് സമാധാനിക്കാം.
എന്തൊക്കെയായിരുന്നു ഒരു കാലത്ത്. അവളെന്നെ ജീവിപ്പിക്കുന്നു, എന്നെ ത്രസിപ്പിക്കുന്നു. ഷീസ് മൈ ഡേ, ഷീസ് മൈ നൈറ്റ്. ഒലക്കയുടെ മൂഡ്. അവസാനം വലിപ്പിച്ചോണ്ട് അവളും പോയി. ഈ ആണുങ്ങൾക്ക് മാത്രമാടാ മറക്കാൻ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുള്ളൂ. ഒന്ന് പോയതിൻ്റെ പേരും പറഞ്ഞ് താടിയും മുടിയും വളർത്തി ഇല്ലാത്ത ശീലങ്ങളും തുടങ്ങി മൂഞ്ചിരിക്കും. അവരോ ഒന്ന് പോയതിൻ്റെ പിറ്റത്താഴ്ച ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു ഹതഭാഗിനെ അവള് വീഴും. എന്താ കാര്യം? അറിയോ? പുതിയൊരുത്തനെ കണ്ട മറ്റവനെ മറക്കും. That's how our days and nights passed. Facebook was an addition to my addictions. And that is while on Facebook, I happened to see a post by my friend regarding his friend who passed away that day. I just took a momentary glance at his profile. There weren't much posts on his wall. All he had was a mere few friends compared to the huge numbers we maintained. I read a few posts that poured on his wall after his death, and that actually made me to go through his profile in total. Lost was always lost. It never came in with a replacement. To me, he was a total stranger. I saw plenty who praised him and spread the words of inspiration after his death. As I would say, when you win, you're hailed, and when you lose, you're always nailed. People never change, so does their town of fake glories. I stood on track with my own scheme of boredom. I used to stalk him once in a while, and that is when I noticed a regular name that cropped his wall. A name that read the fire in my eyes. Swashya. That's how I spelt it. She used to put up random things on his wall every day.
3 months, Pattu. Hope you found some peace by now. I'm still trying. Are you still coursing through my veins? Or is it rain? Your memories, they keep me alive. You said you'll never leave. But 2 months, still not used to your silence. Can you break the lull and hello me sometime? Pattu, Onasham Segal had awesome sadhya. I'm sure you ate the most. Pattu, you were the stranger that I needed. The wanderer who came to call. You were the changer that I needed. Now you're just a picture on my wall. And everything is stranger after you. Salman Rushdie, whose book you never got to finish. Don't let that kutti scars in your face fade. I love them. The air was full of thoughts and things to say. But at times like these, only the small things are ever said. The big things lurk unsaid inside. The God of small things.
These few words of hers on his wall actually made me shoot an elaborated version of my curiosity right to the stack of her messages. As I waited for hours and days, a reply was something that never seemed to happen. I knew I was a stranger to her thoughts and beliefs. Nothing could cut short my curiousness, and I messaged away again. But that too never invoked a reply. I was scared to hope, but confident enough to wait. I left that for a while. Well, what do you do on a fine day when the unexpected happens? And yes, that happened. Weeks had passed with her name almost forgotten in me when she replied me on a Thursday. I never knew what made her do it. Maybe she felt I wasn't faking it. Living in the moment, elated to the brim of joy. I never made it a point to ask her. She never responded to my friend request. And all I asked her then was a few little things, to which she replied with cuts and bits and pieces. She always had a few hundred things to say about him. She was getting more comfortable each time we spoke. Arjun was a biker, a passion that made him known, and a passion that took him away. I stood slapped over words. Maybe I was adoring her nerves, or maybe it was my sense of compassion. But all I knew was the fact that I was falling for her, slow and thick. We spoke at random nights. We loosened our stiff ends of comfort, and at some space of time, We even made a promise that we would meet up someday over a coffee. Even though it was told for the sake of the scene, I knew that is a mere Nelly dream. A few months and a morning later.
Hi. Morning. I know I'm a bit unusual today. I'm here since 2 days for a work of mine. I'll be leaving back tomorrow. What say about a meeting in case you're free today? Reply awaited. Swashya.
As usual, I stood dumb. We fixed a place and time. It was 4 in the evening. This was the moment I longed for, and nothing could speak out my joy. She was a flower with the fragrance of a rareness that took me by her side, irrespective of how she looked, what she sounded, or who she was. We only knew ourselves through the alphabets that made words, not through the voice that made words, or through the eyes that spoke words. It was our first meeting, and hence, a different feeling. Hi. Please. Sashi. Arjun Sashi.
Swashya.
I crammed over breath as we sat over our first coffee. We slowly spread our wings of freedom, and somewhere in the middle, I gathered some courage to tell her what I wanted since long, when something almost interrupted me. It was a book from her bag.
Arjun?
Huh?
This was the book once I mentioned you.
Oh,
Salman Rushdie's The Ground Beneath Her Feet.
okay.
I've read it. But yesterday, when I entered a bookshop here, it reminded me of him.
Yeah?
And I just bought it without a second thought, so that I could read him out the whole thing he never got to complete.
Okay.
Mm.
Hey.
Hmm?
It's getting a bit dark. What about going inside?
Yeah, okay.
Then let's move in.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Actually, I never thought we would get to meet.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. You were a total stranger to me. But, I don't know. Someone or something brought me here today. Maybe it was this book. Maybe it was you.
Okay.
Or maybe myself. It feels good, but...
Yeah, fine.
Oh,
Well, I was thinking if you can give me a number.
I think phones kill the thrill. When numbers are exchanged and thoughts are flooded, we tend to talk a lot over little. And that spoils it. Here, we're two strange unknowns. And I think we should keep it that way.
Okay.
I hope you're not upset.
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm getting a little bit late.
Okay.
By the way, thanks for a feel good day, Arjun. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. As she walked down, fading those eyes of mine, I could see the fact of love, the fact of life, the fact that real wasn't rare. Bye.
Bye.
Take care. It was a
Yeah.
moment that made me realize myself. Because while I was finding myself, I was forgetting him, the chain that connected us. Today, let this love, this adoration, the small sprout of mine go unknown or unnoticed beyond that peak of love. And that's how the story ended for the time being. But today, we still make it a habit to keep in touch. And I still make it a habit to keep waiting for that next meeting. Don't know when. Maybe a few years down the lane. But I hope I'll put a date to that wait someday. Past is usually worst. But sometimes, it's a fair good walk to remember. And love, that's for reasons, not for seasons.